Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back. All right, so there have been some interesting developments regarding the mysterious drone situation going on, right? So apparently, now some individuals, some authority figures are saying that, hey, look, we've seen about 50 drones fly off of the seaboard, right? Right off of the coast somewhere along the East Coast, right? Jersey. So now we've got confirmation on that. That's where some of the drones may have be coming, may have been coming from or are coming from. Still, nobody has no idea where the hell the origin of launch is, right? So this whole situation is starting to get very interesting, right? Because now you have President Trump giving his feedback on the situation, right? And so then you have current sitting president for not for too long though, Biden is saying, okay, yeah, we know they're there, but we can't do much about it. Are you kidding me? Biden, really? These drones could pose a risk, right? We don't know. They haven't done anything crazy yet. They could pose a risk to our safety, right? And our op spec type of things, right? Intelligence gathering. They could be intelligent. I mean, like, you were slow to pull the trigger on the balloons, right? But then you took action, right? Hats off to you for taking action then. But it was already too late. Intelligence gathering was completed. Like, come on. Like, what is going on with this administration, right? I just feel like now the Biden administration, basically their entire goal is to destroy and weaken the United States of America. I will say that again. It is in my opinion that the Biden administration and all of his cronies and followers, their only intent was to destroy the United States of America. There, I said it. That's what I believe is going on, because what commander in chief, right? If we go back to the balloons, right? Why would he allow that to unfold in the manner of which it did? Lack of response, right? Then some type of response to save his face. Now we're posed with, in the last 30 days, this has been going on, right? With a large amount of drones in our airspace, nobody knows what the hell is going on. The top investigative agencies don't know what's going on, nor does it seem like they care, right? So if you think about the last podcast or so that I did, where I said I think they are United States owned American drones, right? Whether it be government, military, whatever, some type of contractor, black ops, whatever you want to call it, or just enthusiasts, right? But we don't know at this point, and the lack of response is very alarming, right? Not only the lack of response, but like, okay, President Biden is going to be done and just call it a couple of weeks. But it just seems like he's so lackadaisical. He doesn't give two shit about our safety and security, right? He's on his way out the door. All he care about right now is his pardons and sticking it to Trump right on his way out, right? He's getting rid of all the excess, border wall material. He's not doing that to bring in last proceeds. He's doing that as a FU to President Donald Trump that's coming in, right? So in their mind, the whole drone situation, that's not top priority to them, but it needs to be. But their top priority is sticking it to the Trump administration that's coming in. And that to me alone shows that United States government, they don't care what's going on right now. They probably couldn't care if the thing started dropping bombs, right? Or there was guns on them, and next thing you know, the drones are now shooting guns at people. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't know what to do. They would say, not my problem. Trump, He's going to be the president. Let Trump deal with it, right? So it's all too interesting, and it's alarming and upsetting, like the lack of response from the government. Like, we are, not to bring my business into it, but I'm going to show you some things in the next couple moments that you'll see what I'm talking about, right? So, us as a small time security firm, right? Physical security, cyber security, digital security, all that good stuff, all things related to security we do, right? Obviously, me as a chief executive officer, I have a certain level of experience that I have, right? I won't go into too much detail, but I'm just not any old body, right? So the information that I possess and that I'm able to attain, and the technology that we do possess and are able to obtain, right? In the last 24 hours, I have done, all of us have done more than the United States government has in the last 30 days that we know of, right? They could be doing other things we don't know of. But based on the news, it would appear that we're doing more than they have done in the last 30 days. And that's absolutely ridiculous if you think about it. Like, come on. So they don't know what the hell's going on with these drones. You have Congress people now really pushing now, which is good. I don't know if they saw Mr. B's videos, right? I don't know what's going on, but now the Congress people themselves are calling for people to get involved. Now, I'm not saying shoot down or shoot at drones, because if you guys aren't like top-notch shooters and you can't calculate, point of aim, point of impact, and all this other stuff with the weather and bullet drop and humidity and blah, 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 blah. Look, shooting at a moving target is not as easy as it sounds. Again, shooting at a moving target is not as easy as it sounds, because the average person, they go to a shooting range, they shoot stationary, meaning they're in one spot shooting at paper, or one spot shooting at steel, or one stop, shooting at cardboard targets, right? So, guys and girls and whatever you identify out there, right? Please do not start shooting at these drones, because your field of view or your point of view from the ground up, sometimes it may look like a drone, but it can actually be a plane. Just because the point, elevation and altitude and where you're at in your eyes, it may look like a drone, but it's really a plane or a helicopter. And we don't want to see on the news, there was recently a plane crash. Rest in peace to the individuals who had died. And I hope, I didn't get an update. I didn't look into it yet, but there was a plane that went down in Westchester County. I don't want to speak too much about it, but unfortunately, individual lost their life, and the other one is apparently in critical condition, right? So rest in peace to the individual involved, and a speedy recovery to the person who is, in critical care. We send prayers to the family, and we just hope, it's unfortunate going into the holidays. Something like that is just terrible all around. So stay strong, and just know, I don't want to get into religion, but I personally believe that death is never the end. There's always something on the other side, which is not really understood by humans right now, but let's not go down that rabbit hole. So yes, let's, if we get back into it. So the drones, right? Lack of response from the United States government, right? So at any rate, you do not want to shoot at those drones. If you think it's a drone, if it's any type of craft, you do not want to take action, because if you do shoot at something and just say you were successful, and next thing you know, it was a helicopter pilot or this and that, and next thing you know, you shot and you damaged something, or you incapacitated the operator of that craft, and next thing you know, they're crashing or something like that. So you don't want to do anything like that. And again, I'm not saying that somebody shot that plane down in Westchester County, New York. No, I'm not. But I'm just saying, hey, look, be smart about it. Right now, what we need is we need eyes and ears, right? We need eyes up in the sky, right? Because a lot of people now maybe are looking up because, people normally don't always look up. But now it looks like a lot more people are looking up and they're seeing what's going on in the sky. So we need eyes on the sky. You need to get as much information to law enforcement. Actually, get the information to law enforcement. Screw sending the information to the feds because the feds aren't going to do anything about it. If you have videos, pictures, reports, send it to your local congressperson, senator, or representative, right? Send that information to your local congressperson, right? Senator or representative. Also, post it on X or your social media. Use the appropriate tags, right? Drone, whatever, Jersey, blah, 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 right? That's probably the best way to get that information in the right hands at this point because the feds completely dropped the ball with everything. It's crazy if you think about it. All the stuff that let's not go off on tangent, right? Let's not get upset, but the feds are not your best bet right now. No, they are not. So at any rate, the other day, actually earlier this morning, okay, so we are in possession as a security company, right? I told you I'm a techie person, computers and this and that and that and antennas and blah, 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 right? And all this other stuff, right? So we use physical and digital security as well as, we do stuff with cybersecurity for certain clients. Without getting too much information, an obspec of what we have and what we don't have, I will share some information with you as it relates to putting your eyes in the sky, right? So if you try to take a picture with your cell phone of the drone at night, what are you going to see? You're going to mostly see just blinking lights, right? You're not going to see the structure, the outline of the drone, the heat signature, with a normal camera. You're just not. So now people are talking about going out and getting these night vision binoculars, right? Night vision binoculars. If there's not enough IR light being emitted towards that craft or that craft is not reflecting enough light off of it, those night vision binoculars are going to be useless. Unless you have a big-ass spotlight or a big-ass IR emitter, illuminator, right? I'm not talking about a flashlight. I'm talking about a huge, type of searchlight, and you can accurately aim it at the craft and then use the binoculars, then okay, maybe then you have a chance. But in this situation, the best way to get some type of better image to see what the hell is up in the sky, what is that, is to use what? It is to use thermal imaging. Again, thermal imaging is what needs to be used to identify what is in the air at nighttime or even the day. But I will tell you, right now is a perfect time to use IR, to invest in and use IR imaging. Why? Okay, because isn't the atmosphere cold right now? Isn't outside cold, right? So even if you got the least expensive option, it would still be able to distinguish the shape of something up against the sky, right? So if the sky is completely cold, but there's something flying that is emitting some type of heat signature, right? That's how thermal works, right? It will be picked up on your thermal imaging device, right? So I'm not saying, like the fire department, they have the little thermal guns and this and that to see where hot spots are at. No, I'm not talking about those, right? I'm talking about professional thermal cameras that have a zoom on them. I'm talking about professional thermal binoculars, professional thermal monoculars, right? So Monocular, just basically think of it as one eye, binocular, two eyes, right? So at any rate, I'm going to show you some images that I had taken when I was out, just milling around, seeing what's going on. I actually had people reach out to me, which I'm surprised because we just started this podcast type of situation, but it really came through the security company. We had individuals reach out to us, right? Some of them very prestigious individuals, one or two. The other ones were just, you and I, just regular people out on the street, blah, 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 blah. Give me information about their accounts and where they last saw drones and right? Most of it, some of it was in Jersey. It was like 4 in Jersey. Then other ones were like 2 or 3 in New York, right? I'm not going all the way down to New York City, and I'm not going deep down into New Jersey on short notice. I may do it tomorrow, next day, whatever. But as long as the weather's good, I'll be out. But, if you have information, get in contact with me through the links in the description through Facebook, and I'll respond or somebody else will respond, right? If you want to try to get better images or you want more information. But anyway, so I went out and about with a thermal imager, right? So, excuse me, indigestion is acting up. So at any rate, so I went out, take a look, and I want to show you some of the stuff that I had taken with just a simple thermal monocular, right? So we have the binoculars, we have mounted flare, and it's usually for boats, but it could be re-engineered to point at the sky, right? So those ones are a lot of money if you try to get a mounted, thermal imager, right? But it has a better quality picture and it has a longer zoom, right? But for the simple purpose of detection, right? If we think about thermal imagers, right? You have identification and you have detection, right? So detection would be, okay, I see something in the sky, but I don't know what it is. Identification is, okay, I see something in the sky. Let me zoom in. Or, now I can see that it's a bird or a plane. Or even if it's not in the sky, right? Hunters use it all the time, right? You can use it to hunt animals and things like that, right? So detection would be, okay, the presence is there. I don't know what it is. Identification, as it relates to thermal imaging, is, okay, I can clearly see what this is, right? So let me see if I can bring up some of the images. There we have it. So this, obviously, this is a plane. It's on final, right? This was taken a few miles out. Wasn't that high up, but you can see with just a simple device that a civilian can possess and use, it could be used to identify what the hell that is, right? Obviously, we see it's a plane. I'm just going to scroll through a lot of the images so you can see some of the quality. So these are just some of the, the planes that I took at various altitudes, various distances. And these aren't up close, by the way, I'll have you know. Obviously this one's red hot. This was at quite a distance, but still on a cold night sky, I was able to detect that there was something up there, right? Obviously that to me, that's a plane, right? You can see the tail. So let's see. Obviously there's something else here. Obviously you can see that as well. That's a plane, I hope. Then that's another plane there. That was at quite a distance, right? I think that one was 12 miles out. That's just me zooming in further. I mean, you can't see anything but a blob, but you can see the heat signature with these simple devices you can purchase. But you need to know which ones to get, and I'm going to recommend as we go into the slides here and into the podcast. So now those were done without heat tracking on, right? So heat tracking is when the processors in the camera detect that there's heat. The AI will show you a crosshairs and try to isolate the mass of the heat signature, right? It'll try to focus in on it. So This is with me turning heat signature on. Guess how far that object was in the sky from where I was. That is at 20 miles out. 20 miles away with that simple device I'm going to show you. That's crazy, though, to think 20 miles away, like the average Joe Smo. Like, I'm an average Joe Smo. I could see what's going on up there, right? So this is why I wanted to get out on the road and try to put our technology and expertise to use, right? Drone Ranger, right? That's what the congressman said. But at any rate, I'm going to show you some more. So obviously, it's a moving object. The processor is trying to lock onto it, but most of it is locking onto the tail of the aircraft. Right now, I can see there. You kind of can make out it's an aircraft. It's a plane. Here, you definitely know because you can see the wing, fuselage, and you can also see the tail. But again, that there was at 20 miles away, which was, I was impressed. Very impressed, because the manufacturer won't, well, they're not going to say you can see something at 20 miles, right? They'll put it down the hunting range, like 200-300, maybe push it out to 1,000 yards, right? They'll guarantee detection. And then as the object is closer to you, they'll guarantee identification, right? But this is pretty cool, right? So there I switched different modes, you know, red hot, white hot, and this and that, rainbow and black hot, right? So in order to sometimes see a better picture of the objects, you have to change the setting that it's on, right? So what I'm going to recommend right now is when I show you the thermal monoculars and binoculars, I'm going to tell you right now what setting you need to have it on to be able to see these crafts up there in the sky like that, right? So brightness needs to be all the way down. If not, basically adjust it to how you need to adjust it. But I'm telling you, to get a better image, brightness needs to be down on like 0, 1, 2, or 3, right? You don't want it all the way up, because you're with thermal, you're not going to get a good, clear, crisp image like this, right? I'm not saying a thermal imager will be able to tell you and zoom in and see the pilot snacking on a cheeseburger. No, you're not going to be able to see that, right? But you're not going to be able to see, the tail number, anything like that on that with a thermal imager at night. No, you won't. But you'll be able to make out the shape of what's going on, right? So make sure the brightness is down low. This, I'm not certain what the hell that was, but I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to say it is, a plane. I mean, it would appear to be a plane, but then obviously I don't know. But it was something up in the sky, and that was at a distance of, honestly, I cannot remember, but it was definitely more than 10 miles away with me zoomed in, right? This was just another magnification of the last one there. For some reason, it didn't come out that good. I think I was moving around when I hit the snap. But that is definitely something up in the sky at a far distance away. This right here, obviously, what is that? That is also would appear to be a plane to me. And if I remember correctly, this one was actually on the flight tracking app, which I was able to locate in the sky, track it, and catch an image of it. So yes, this one, but this was also a distance away. I think this one was like 23 miles away. But obviously, it's a plane. I can verify this one was a plane. I had it on Flight Tracker. And obviously, you can see the tail and the wingspan there. There's a little bit better picture. That is definitely a plane, a distance away. But you see how the thermal will show you basically, let's think of it, let's be simple. A blank canvas, the sky, a blank canvas. Anything that's emitting a heat signature on that cold, blank background canvas will light up on thermal, right? Again, this is at far distance. We're talking 20-something miles away, and I'm not BSing you, right? So obviously, there's the plane again. Very good images. This one right here, right? I was on Flight Tracker, And I said, hey, look, now that plane is 30 miles away. Excuse me. I am at a good point of elevation. Let me see if I can find this damn thing in the sky, right? So I turned it on. Whoops. I turned it on without the the hot tracking, right? The heat tracking, because I didn't want the bars to obscure the image. So this was at 30 something miles away. That was actually flying to what the hell was it flying? JFK or something like that. So again, very far distance away, I can see that there's something up there emitting a large amount of heat. So then I went, okay, well, I can see it. Let me turn on the heat tracking, right? And I turned on the heat tracking, and the damn thing locked in on the object. I know it was a plane. It locked in on the plane at 30-something miles away. That is freaking crazy technology, guys, right? And I'm not trying to sell the company that I'm going to show you. I'm not trying to sell their stuff, right? There ain't no free punches, free punchlines, or whatever you want to call it. Throw them a bone. We're not being sponsored by them, and I shouldn't say anything, but I'm going to, because it's a matter of national security. We're not being taken care of by our own government, really. They don't seem to know what's going on. So I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to empower you, right? I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to tell you what you need to be able to identify some of these things in the sky, right? So, and when I do mention the company name, if somebody works for them, hey, look, send me a better, the top. I'm not, we have decent stuff. I need the top of the line stuff from you guys, so I can hit the road, get out on the road, hit the street, and get better images, right? Because I'm not spending $20,000, $10,000 on, some of the stuff that's out there. No, sir. No, sir, right? What we have is good enough for what we do, with that stuff when we do physical security surveillance, blah, blah, blah. Let's not get off on a tangent. So drones, right? So this one locked in at 30-something miles away. It was a flight that was, headed from, I forgot where, somewhere, but it was going down to the city, right? And so then I changed the, the function, and I couldn't see anything, really. It wasn't able to lock on. But I know for a fact that little spot that's under the, the left crosshair is it. But under this setting, like I said, you have to switch the settings to get, the image that you need. But under this, it wasn't showing anything, right? This one here, guys, I'm not trying to raise alarm or speculate or anything like that. I don't know what this was. It wasn't on Flight Tracker. It was not on Flight Tracker. It wasn't a government flight. This was probably about, I can't even speculate. It's so hard to tell if it's not on Flight Tracker how high it is or how far out it is. But just bear with me one damn second. My damn camera went down. See? They don't want me telling you guys. They don't want me spilling the tea. But at any rate, I don't know where the heck, how far out this was. But for it to be, hold on, let me focus on my beautiful face. Cheese. So at any rate, so for this to be picked up on thermal, and for the heat tracking, the hotspot tracking to find it on a blank canvas sky means that it's very, very large, whatever it is, and it was emitting a lot of heat, right? So by the time I was able to get out of the car with everybody looking at me, thinking I'm probably a Fed or something, or a terrorist trying to shoot stuff out the sky, I hopped out the car quick to take a quick picture, and I jumped back in the car because it was freezing out there. So I just don't want people knowing, what I'm up to. Next thing you know, I got the troopers probably showing up. Put your hands out the window, Mr. B. Is that you, Mr. B? What are you doing now, Mr. B? All right, you're free to go. So anyway, I'm not trying to get, have them spread them out in the cold. So at any rate, I took the picture. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was definitely up in the sky. Could have been a plane. Could have been a bird. Could have been a drone. Could have been a UFO. Who knows? But excuse me. I will say that there was a lot of shooting stars out this morning. So at any rate, I don't know what that is. Let's not speculate, but you can see with these simple devices what you can see. Obviously, this is a plane. From where I was, that was being picked up. I think it was about, on flight tracker, it said it was about 15 miles away. And obviously, you can see the tail. You know, you can see the wings. You can see the fuselage. That was definitely a plane. That was just me changing the setting and the system trying to on the lock in on the plane there, right? So obviously, I said you mess around with the settings, you can change a lot. That's just a zoomed in. That is definitely a plane. That is the same image. That is a plane. Now, this one here, let me see how far it goes, right? Oops, so that's the original ones we saw. This is something that was in the sky. I also had no idea what it was. Nothing was in the area on flight tracking. Again, not speculating, people. I'm not saying it's the drones. I'm not saying it's aliens. You know, I'm not saying that. But something rather large at a far distance out, I was able to pick up on thermal imaging. You know, it wasn't interference. It wasn't a bird flying in front of the thing. Da, 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 da. You know, it was something large, something that was emitting some heat. It could have been, I don't know, a government plane or something, or a military plane that's not on flight radar. I don't know, but it was there. I was able to find it on the imager, which is very interesting. And obviously, these are just the the original pictures that I took of stuff up close. So as stuff gets closer to you, this is at 3 miles, 2.5, 3 miles, but still, for something that simple, but something that simple that has a zoom, you'll be able to identify something, right? So we're done with those. So yeah, it's very interesting. So now I want to show you what you can get to be able to see these things, right? To detect and maybe identify some of these things, right? So bear with me here. Let me see if I can bring it up. All right, boom. So, oops, I don't want to mess up the, don't mess up. So let's see. What if I move this over here? Okay, yes. So I hope you guys can see. So there's a company out there, AGM Global Vision, right? They make a very decent and affordable. They make very decent and affordable thermal imagers, right? Monoculars, binoculars. They make stuff for guns, for hunters, and blah 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 blah. So I'll leave the link in the description how you can find them if you guys want to be civilian detectives and see this stuff up in the air in the dark without just potato phone or your bare eyes, right? So at bare minimum, right, as you go farther out with like better resolution and field of view, it's going to get, obviously you see it's a lot of money, right? But it'll offer you the best quality image, right? So as we keep going, it is a lot more money, right? So we have all these monoculars here, but I will say you'll get a very decent image resolution, and as you spend more money, the better the detection and identification range gets, right? So if you think about getting the most basic one, right? If you say, I want to just stay under $1,000, right? I would recommend that you get this one here. Or I believe they make one that's 25, 3, blah, 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 blah. I believe that they make, that they make that one as well. But at bare minimum, you can get, and they're also, if you don't buy it directly from them, you can get it from Amazon. So, yeah. So let's just look at one of them, right? Let's see. Oh, let's see if they tell you like the. Okay, so that's not BS. You can get clear images like that of stuff up close to you and things like that, right? I'll just quickly play, the video so you guys can see. Let me see something. Right. So you see, obviously, 100 yards. Obviously, you can see it's a person, right? Blah, 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 blah. But the farther out you get, if you don't have that good quality stuff, you'll just get a detection, meaning that okay, there's something out there, but you're not too sure what it is, right? So obviously, this stuff isn't rated for like drones and planes and this and that, but trust me, it'll get the job done, right? So let me I'll leave the link in the description so everybody can see. But let's see here. I want to see if they're on Amazon, right? Amazon. Let's see. I want to see what. Just bear with me while I'll take a look here, because I know you can get them off Amazon. Let's see. All right. So thermal monoculars, right? Perfect. So let me bring it back up on the screen. So yes, you can get them on Amazon. Make sure, if I was you and you had $1,000 to spend, right? Because you can use this stuff for whatever, hunting or whatever. You can use it for whatever, and it doesn't have to be just tracking drones and things like that. Get the best one that's out there, right? So let's look through some of these. And we're releasing some classified information. So I'll blank that out so you can't see that at all. So at any rate, you can go on to Amazon, right? And you can look for this stuff. It's available. Or if you want it directly from the manufacturer, just go directly to their website and get it. So it's definitely, it's definitely good to have. I would say if you want, the best, you're going to have to spend a lot of money to get it. But at bare minimum, these ones here will get the job done. These ones here will get the job done. And this is also a great product. This one right here. This will also get the job done. Also give you a better detection and identification, range. So yeah, those were the pictures that I was able to grab. And it's very interesting what's going on. If you want me to come out and take a look, if you're frequenting, drones and stuff like that, and you're not a crazy person who's going to abduct me, I'll come out, I'll take a look what's going on, see if we can try to, as a community, try to narrow down what the heck is going on, because obviously we're not getting the answers that we need, right? So I'll leave all the links and everything down in the description for you to check these people out. And for now, thank you for tuning in. Keep your eye to the sky. And if you need anything, if you have any information, definitely share it with us. Share it with your local congressperson. And hopefully we all come together and figure out what the heck is going on. So until next time, I will see you later.